Is there anything as a consultant that you've seen that comes up often, like these things that, just since you're here with a group of behavior analysts, you're like, guys, like, or gals, or whoever, like seriously, like be aware of this stuff and like pay attention to this stuff when you're consulting, because it's stuff I regularly see as a consultant.
Sure. I would say it's that stuff I talked about earlier that, you know what, it's funny because I used to poo-poo it a little bit. Like, my business partner, Neil Fleissig, when I first got into this, I didn't originally work in schools. I worked only at like institutions with adults, right? And I was like, I know schools, it's all behavior, and to some extent that's true. But Neil would say, Merrill, a lot of times you're going to go in these classrooms and you know what you're going to find? You're going to find the curriculum's wrong. And I'm like, Neil, I'm a behavior analyst. I don't need to know about curriculum. I just need to know about reinforcement. And, kind of naive and go in there. But I found out, well, sometimes, no, it has nothing to do with the curriculum. Curriculum's fine. But sometimes, yeah, not only is the curriculum wrong, it's actually pissing the kid off when they force him to try and engage with it. And so and there's other things that he will do and kind of can do pretty good and likes. And this one he doesn't understand, and I'm pretty sure it's wrong for him. I mentioned earlier the vision of the school, like what and the administration and the principal, and how do they look at what are you doing? Like, because it affects how they support people, like and how they view us. Because I've been, and that's what I kind of want to know, like who supports whom here? Like how do we started, I made a questionnaire to give staff before they do crisis management training. We're going to start using it. And one of the questions, because I talked to so many staff over the years, was like, it was like a Likert scale. I agree, strongly disagree. And one of them was like, I feel like if something bad happened in a restraint, that the administration would support me. And it was like, strongly agree, I already see Monica shaking her head back and forth. So the thing is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them will say no. And this is kind of my thing as a consultant now, is like, why would that be the case? What does the administration feel about restraint? And is the administration saying it should never be done? And is the staff saying, but we need to? Okay, but don't. If this is what's happening, for us to come in and fix things, if that's what's happening, that mismatch, it's not going to go very far. It's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. That's the word I like to use. It won't stick. Why won't it stick? Because it doesn't fit there. It doesn't belong there, And so I'd rather start with the top and say, what are you expecting here? What do you see your vision here? And a lot of the schools I've been in, just as an example, they see the kid with behavior problems as a siege upon our school. He is a siege upon my classroom. Here's a statement that one teacher said. And if a teacher ever said this to me, I am not writing a behavior plan in his or her classroom. This is what the teacher said. He's constantly bothering my kids. He's in her room. He is one of her kids. She sees him as the black sheep, the interloper, the one that doesn't belong, right? And as long as she sees him like that, I'm not doing anything there. I'm saying he's placed in the wrong room. That teacher has so much bias against him. I will be amazed if he ever got better in that room. Right? These are the uncomfortable discussions. By the way, I did have a discussion with the assistant principal, and I said, don't you tell teachers when they are hired that they may have to work with children in their classroom that are not good little doobies and have behavior problems, and that they may have to deal with it as a part of their regular job? And he goes, oh, if I said that, I wouldn't be able to hire anybody. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So now you're hiring people under false pretenses who then get very angry and resentful when you drop these kids in their classroom that they had no idea they were going to get. And then you wonder why you have an angry, resentful teacher. And I would have to say I couldn't blame her, right? In this particular case, because no, she was not told.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
No one's talking to you, Siri. As an example, Miguel, one school I was in, the principal came up to me thank you so much for coming, Merrill. Thank you for seeing this. This is a great teacher. This is a very difficult kid, but tell me anything we need. If there's a book you recommend, I will buy it for my staff. I never have principals say that to me, okay, when I go to school. And I'm like, at this school, anything is possible. Anything is possible at this school. Why? Because the principal has that attitude that she had, right? And her attitude was, we work with anyone we have. If we have them, we will teach, right? And I'm like, God bless you, right? Because a lot of the places, they were, as I said, the child was a siege. It was a siege upon the school. And that's how they viewed it. Like, why did you drop this pestilence upon me in the form of a child? That's how a lot of them act. And I'm like, that is the wrong, if this is the children that we say we're going to accept, that is the wrong attitude, and so that I think that's bigger than anything, Miguel, really is. I'd like to talk to principals and like the ESE coordinator, stuff like that. I do like to find out those things. Like what are your belief systems and attitudes? Like, I didn't used to put a lot of stock in that as a behavior analyst, but what they are is they're motivating operations and they're abolishing operations. And they're pre-existing conditions, you might say, that teachers and administrators have that will increase or decrease the probability of anything you doing working, right? So if they have the right mindset, then they will have the same reinforcers that we do. And if they don't, they're going to have different reinforcers. And if they have different reinforcers, it's hard for stuff to stick. That's the main thing, I think, that as behavior analysts, I think maybe we haven't looked at enough is alignment. We're struggling through that with my own company now, like aligning administrative values with what we want to give the customers, with how we want to treat people, with the product we want to deliver, and being consistent with those values through all those interactions, right? Otherwise, you're not being kind of true to your company, so to speak. But if you don't have a real clear mission statement and clear values, and why are we at this school? What is our job? Is our job to stay out of the papers and never have mad parents? Man, we're the experts. We're sometimes going to disagree with what the parents want, and sometimes parents will disagree with us and may even be angry. So be it. We're still going to do our job, and that's our attitude. At a lot of schools where I consulted, the attitude was stay away from legal, right? Stay out of trouble, just do what the parents want. What about the kid? We just want to make the parents happy. I'm sorry, is it called school or place where we make parents happy? Is this the appeasement academy? Is that what this is? But that's my point, is that sometimes these difficult questions that may even be offensive to people, I think have to be asked. And say, it's like Sean Connery, the movie The Untouchables. What are you prepared to do? Okay, what are you prepared to do? Why are you here? And this only came to me like after years and years of getting beaten down by principals and angry teachers and parents upset about things. And I just find these horrible mismatches of values between teachers and administrators, paraprofessionals and teachers. Don't get me started on that one. And there's different values on that one. So we'd find clashes between the teacher. Here's another one, Miguel, before even writing a behavior plan. How's the teacher get along with the paraprofessionals? Because I've been in plenty of classrooms, they're ready to kill each other. They're ready to kill each other over disagreements on how to handle behavior. And I see Wendy nodding. It's like, if that is still raw and you come in, I want to have some kind of kumbaya moment before I do that. Because again, normally going into a classroom, I wouldn't give that a second thought. But in hindsight, I think about all the classrooms I've been in where there were big disagreements between people. And I'm like, who, kind of like the dog whisperer, like, who is the alpha male? Okay, who is the alpha? Okay, whether it's a female or male, who is the alpha? You go into a classroom, you don't even know who the alpha is. You go into a school, I don't know who the alpha is. Whose school is this? Who gives the orders? Who supports people? Who delivers consequences? What is happening? So yeah, I go into places where everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's afraid of everybody. Everybody's their like own king or something. And the kids are confused and things are chaos and in a mess. And, you know, the best behaved kids that I've seen are in the best run schools, in the best managed classrooms with the best administrators supporting them, hands down. You know, it's not like you find these awesome classrooms with shitty administrations at the top. I mean, occasionally you'll find it, but not usually. So, you know, yeah, I think guys, a lot of what we do, it can be done simply with a few tricks, but a lot of what we do requires a framework and a mentality to support it, right? Not everything, thank God. I mean, yeah, I've done quick little tricks that made the teacher happy. We've all done it, right? But for difficult cases, for big things, for school-wide things, yeah, then those kinds of things are really important, not just little tricks, but like, why are we here questions, I think. Because the why are we here questions are important because it taps into people's aversives and reinforcers, right? And if we know what their aversives and reinforcers are, one, we'll know how to get along with them better, but two, we have an idea of what will and won't work. You know, because I don't know about you guys, I really hate writing stuff that I'm pretty sure no one will do. So I like to just say up front, hey guys, I'm pretty sure no one's going to do what I'm going to recommend. So let's talk about something different, right? I mean, why not? Why? I know there's so many functional assessments that are sitting in folders in file cabinets that have never had anything done with them. So, you know, what's the point? You know, we're not going to get something functional for the kids. So, yeah. But I think Miguel, there's a lot of meta stuff that we don't really think of going into these places as consultants that, like I did it one time years ago, and I think I pissed the dude off because he didn't email me back. But he said, Merrill, we want you to come consult at our institution because we're having some problems with the DOJ. And I go, okay. But before I do, I'd like you to answer these 7 questions for me. And I just they were things about management and vision and who does what and accountability and this. And I said, if all these things are not in place, I don't want to do it. And I just never heard back from him because I knew the place was a broken place. And so I don't want to go because I can afford not to. I don't want to go consult at a broken place. It's a waste of their money and my time is the way I put it. So, you know, everybody can't do that. But if you can do it, I'd rather do that.